Hey, how you guys doing? I'm Kent Tilley, and today I want to talk about an article I just saw. We haven't talked much about ChatGPT on this channel because we're kind of afraid of it. So I'm looking at this article from CNN that I did not read. However, and I'll tell you why I didn't read it after I explain it, is it says ChatGPT can pick stocks better than your fund manager. And so I'm going to go into two things that I think about this. First is, yeah, ChatGPT probably can pick stocks better than your fund manager because I want you to imagine what ChatGPT can do compared to a human being. So first off, to become like a stockbroker, you basically need to take a course that will take you a couple weeks in Canada, and that will allow you to sort of be able to read financial statements and kind of guess and understand the difference between stocks and bonds and whatever. And you're going to go ahead and you're going to pick a strategy for how to pick stocks for your clients. But then you're going to go in and your corporation is going to tell you, we actually have better brokers than you, and they're just going to create these portfolios for your clients, and we're going to use that strategy moving forward. Now, if you're really a really active investment manager, then how are you going to be able to look at the internals of, 1,000 companies or even 30 on a daily basis? Whereas GPT can do all of this in milliseconds compared to you having to look for just specific things. So, for example, Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett, the way that they invest when they buy stocks is they're looking for companies that have really good cash flow. They have, a low price compared to their earnings, and they're buying them for the long term. And that has worked really well for them in the future. So they're not looking day to day exactly what we want to do. They're just saying we're going to buy value stocks and hope that those grow over time because we bought them at a low price. And there's an article that I was just reading from Charlie Munger talking about at his annual shareholders meeting with Berkshire. And he says, he's sort of like laying into the investment industry and financial advisors and all these other things and talking about how much money people are making, even though they're really bad at their jobs. This is something that I kind of talk about on this channel. Why we're not fund managers, but we're financial planners, is because I don't know how to be a fund manager. I know that there's a gambling part of it associated with having to get lucky to beat the actual market. And he knows that too. And he says, we have people who know nothing about stocks being advised by stockbrokers who know even less. This is coming from one of the best investors of all time. This isn't words out of my mouth. Of course, ChatGPT is going to be better than the average individual at this because they can look at every single thing and develop sort of strategies and say, this works during these exact points in time. A human being isn't a supercomputer that would be able to do that. So that does make sense to me that ChatGPT probably is going to, or AI is going to take over the stock trading world at some point in time, which is kind of scary. That's a lot of people losing their jobs. However, in the big market picture, that's maybe fine for individuals. And if you want to gamble with some of your own money, then pick your own individual stocks or whatever. However, I will say this, because this is something, and this is why I didn't read the article, is because this is probably done within the last couple of months. So it's saying a blanket statement of saying ChatGPT is better than your fund manager in 2 months. Well, so what? That's 2 months. You're not investing for 2 months. And that is a big thing to think about when you're investing, because this happens to us all the time. So people will come to us and they'll say, okay, We'll say, we want you to invest in low-cost index funds, and they'll have a bunch of money over in some fund at one of the big banks, and they'll say, okay, we're going to give you a shot. We're going to give you a shot for 3 months or 6 months, and as soon as somebody says that, I'll say, no thanks. I don't want you to be a client of mine, because you're just going to judge me based on what the market does in 6 months and say, oh, my guy over there is better because maybe his does better than ours in that course of 6 months. We don't know what's going to happen in 6 months, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. All we're doing is increasing the probability that you're going to get a better return because you're paying less money. And basically every study that's ever been done says investing in index funds and just investing in the market for the long term generally beats fund managers a higher percentage of the time. That is it. I'm not saying that we're going to win in 3 months or 6 months or a year or whatever. I'm just saying we know how to save you money, and we're hopefully going to give you advice that adds value. That's it. And so ChatGPT, hopefully, maybe one day they come in, we all find that they're the best place to invest your money is with some actual robo-advisor, then maybe we'll start using that as a whole. But that's also going to take away a lot of jobs, some of them that probably should be taken away. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it, but don't worry about short term who's beating who when you're investing, because that is a dangerous game to play that makes people lose all the time. There was a couple years ago, people were like, Warren Buffett sucks. He's too old to understand this anymore. Well, guess what? He doesn't suck anymore. He just didn't want to play the meme stock game because he knew that it was stupid. That's it. And he's not emotionally tied to anything. He gets how the market works and how companies work, and that's how he invests. And that's as simple as that. So anyway, ChatGPT also can't be emotional, so that's good. Anyway, thanks for reaching out. If you want an actual financial plan, you understand what we're charging, you understand how we're telling people to invest, then please feel free to reach out. If not, let ChatGPT take our jobs soon, because we'll be happy to go out of business for a computer. Cheers.